turned it to be a bad mental health status that after somehow it was in turn self-inflicted themselves because they had to. I can't just talk about this with the suicide ahead with some dark, gruesome, this dark here to tell us. But why you ask it for? So I had this caution here is right here that we had to does include the suicide thought and the coronavirus tragedy because of real world people that global has mental health issues, the mental health crisis they had to self-inflicted, the throwing, uh, drowning, but what else did I? What else did it cost it? Oh yeah, so self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Mentioned like Robert Brox from Austria, and who did got gunshot wounds to himself, but was recently to June 2018. And a still presentable liberty and acceptable money to still playable games is still in here. And you can also play the presentable liberty and acceptable money does also. I remember playing it before. And somehow the developer got self-inflicted gunshot wounds at home, and afterlife he's arrested in another world. And he probably just will be arrested another world soon. Or maybe it's just a belief that Robert Brox lived in the internet and appeared the computer generated figures like Plotagon and mentions like our internet war games, and I don't like those people have this suicide, but I really is understandable that COVID-19 the situation, but if you had just seen that anywhere this coronavirus spread around countries, this is where the situation that mentioned is doing it. This is situation they're doing it. It's really the belief that is that people watch this, but nobody cares that watch that the people are just self-inflicted, but that's why they actually did it. People are actually did this actually the self-inflicted themselves after. Then they went inside the internet and rebirthed this, but internet the rest of it is the fiber the internet connections. Also like that. But you know what? Let's just figure out find out that our internet working matches. Okay. So I'm moving into the I'm moving into the Who Framed Miku web media universe. So I decided to create the standalone titles, the media to call it the Paranoid Quarantine. It's a short letter that's PQ, stand for the Paranoid Quarantine. I haven't received the scenes like GC and Mr. Bone for Sega Saturns that people already play to remember that Mr. Bone games and GC for PlayStation 1 is the side-scrolling action platforms shooting games with the tutor as the main character of a yellow mouse to trap into the mad science dimensions that believe that he can jumps fearless and just shoot the crap out of the living creatures with some ants, slime, and a bunch of all the kind of things. A bunch of all the kind of this living this object this whatever. So it's he needs this take the ingredients and so 4 pieces, and then the face encounter a mad scientist and take down and defeating it to get the red crystal, and just teleport it when suddenly as mouse trap and just snapping into him. That was pretty dark ending right there. I have seen GC for PlayStation 1 games on the YouTube videos. So I had the chance to play the GC game. And does have include Mr. Bones, for Sacred Saturns, the story of the skeleton of Sans from Undertales, the grandfather of Mr. Bones, is great musician and saved the civilizations of living skeleton by the evil dreadful the vampires. And there's a lot of the aspect to be. There's a lot of the aspect with the multi-genres that puts a lot of it together. Like action, platform, adventures, the full motion videos, musicians. Just I'm going to see this. Let's see if it announces that Mr. Bones. Oh, that is a movie. Give it a second. Now we got to see. I want to see something here. Mr. Bones, multi-genre system, concept by that guy. Concept the games that made by that guy since 1996. And people that got remembered played Mr. Bones. And kids and adults really like the Mr. Bones that has quite a bit of wild. Like the likely the Mr. Bones of action games present the nebulous levels. Its unique to gameplay styles is as a mixture of both and even that makes it like a live action as a computer generated advantages be with video cutscenes between the level like that. And as played the guitars, the platforms, and on the narrate the comedies, the comedic which the explore for the adventures. And I like how the happens are going outdoors and went to the adventures with a bicycle just right on to here's the cyclins with the cyclones explore into the big things explore with dangerously area to traffic roads to watching some cars, truck, motorcycle, and the various vehicle. But which is the concept of the concept of simply the unique speed, the gameplay, and as we had using a detail with the Slender The Eight Pages, Granny the Games, and the Psychonaut Sudoku. Oh, by the way, Yandere Trio also. And it takes to using the gameplay details and detailing the story, familiar dialogues. And but we have the conceptables of the paranoid quarantines, but without involvement with the Psychonaut Sudoku, and I would have to make things for the budget, but run into it, and likely the dark scientist, the fantasy, which is that with the it's like a scientific fantasy that takes place into the setting at night, setting in the daylight, brighter days, with the avoiding the obstacles, the objects, the flying objects, flying the droid machines, because they had flying droid machines, tanks, and some various military robot things like that. Just like a Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid. What is solid? The words be. Forget it. And the sci-fi then influence to be the Cyberpunk, Akira, Ghost in the Shell, and all have a lot of the anime sci-fi. There's sci-fi a lot. And internationally, it's a bit likely the paranoid quarantine that names from the Who Framed Miku, and with the Framed Miku, people mixing up matchups like the picking any project